dox somebody. What the fuck? I just want to make it clear.
Drag the shit out of that bitch.
I don't like you bitches. It's disgust that I feel for a lot of these.
I'm just taking care of business, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being
because
here.
they're the bottom
It's gonna
of
be
the
worth your
barrel.
while.
They are absolute trash.
Sophisticated, Versace shades, educated, bitch I'm paid. You drunk off hate, intoxicated, broke line bitches, Tasha K. You wanna be me? Yeah, I know. You a low budget hoe in a SRO. I'm in my Lexus at the Texaco. My license plate say Juanki. Whoa! I'm in the NYC. All these bitches wanna get like me. First class flights and VIP. I'ma read these bitches like ABC. I chase money, don't chase cloud. Got big numbers in my bank account. I'm number one, you're all too soft. Now drag these bitches like I'm RuPaul. The library is open and I read these hoes. So high up in that penthouse, I can't see these hoes. My clothes, custom designers, you can't find these in no stores. I get money, my lifestyle is pure diamonds and gold. My whole life is a movie. You just a fan, you a groupie. You clout chasing ass broke bitch. Ain't nothing you can do to me.
For them bitches
Bitch,
who
you
are always
could
clacking
never.
me. It's just a
Bitch, you
personal
could
bottom of
never,
more
ever.
shit on. It's not that much. It's not that much.
Bitch,
It's a
you could
personal item.
never.
Okay, let's just
These hoes mad about it. Waistline got a lot of ass around it. Top notch, please go ask about it. From the bottom, but I'm so high class about it. 5-star restaurant, hood bougie upper echelon. You old news, I'm popping. Your room's the size of my closet. 600 just for my sneakers. My flow sick like Zika. I kill bitches, Grim Reaper. You a working hoe, dish cleaner. Pull back or get stomped down or stomped down. Stomp down, so watch the words you're speaking. You don't want beef, you're vegan. The library is open
No, Miss
and
View,
I
I
read
could
these
never
hoes. So
and
high
would
up in that
never.
penthouse, I
We have
can't
to give
see
grace.
these hoes. My clothes, custom designers, you can't find these in no stores. I get money, my lifestyle is pure diamonds and gold. My whole life is a movie. You just a fan, you a groupie. You clout chasing ass broke bitch. Ain't nothing you can do to me.
ask me if
Bitch,
I
you
want to
could
refill
never.
or not. That's
Bitch,
the
you
natural
could never,
thing.
ever.
Okay? That is not an affluent
Bitch,
man.
you could never. These hoes mad, cause I pop tags. Buying everything that they wish they can have. I be on the front seat, you be in the back. Back of the bus, back of the cab. My name on the marquee. Yep, I'm the biz like Marquee. I run this world like Juanki. Bitch, I'm Juanki. Don't forget your cans.
Let's do it.
Friday Live is when we get to let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? The things that I've seen. Y'all could let me know. Let's get into some mess. Absolutely. I got it ready. I got it ready. Health profiles. We find out moments of suffocation. We find it's just we're gonna get to it because you know throughout the week I see a lot. I hear a lot.
Lordy Lord. Oh, Jesus.
That's what he said.
Oh, Lordy Lord. Oh,
Having the
Jesus.
suspicions that he wasn't working. He was just playing dress up for us. Some of the stuff is not memorable. Like when people attack me and shit like that in these streets, it's never memorable. I know a homosexual, whether male or female, when I see one. Drop a bomb on that.
Test 1 2, test 1 2, test 1 2, test 1 2. Good evening. I am Juanki, and welcome to my world. Okay, Friday night. I'm ready to go to bed. Oh yes, I Miss Viewers of You. But I said I have to come. No sound booth. Oh, let's see. Test 1 2, test 1 2, test 1 2. Do you hear me up in YouTube land? Let's see. Let me see over here. Test 1 2, test 1 2, test 1 2. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Let's see the levels. Just not you speaking. Just not you speaking. We hear the music, just not you speaking. Let's see. Test. The levels. Can you hear me now? We hear you. Okay, great. I am currently in my do Starlight. Oh, maybe you maybe it's just you, Miss View. Oh no, Miss View, let me know. I hear you clear. Miss View, can you hear me? Miss View, can you hear me? Because I need Miss View to hear me. Let's see. Miss View. Let me see if I have another window. View, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hear me. Oh, I will wait for Miss View. I'm going to wait for Miss View. Let's see. My producer's telling me I hear you. Okay, drop a bomb on that. I can. Okay, perfect. Good evening, everybody. I am Juanki, and welcome to my world. Thank you for being here, ladies and gentlemen. I am in my undergarments. I took my shower. This is why my hair is wet and promiscuous. I did not shave tonight because my husband and I have an engagement tomorrow, and I'm saving that shave for tomorrow. Okay? Miss View, you were ever in a corner situation where you were debating, when to shave and when not to shave and when to, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so tomorrow is the night, and so y'all got the 5 o'clock shadow Juanki Pro tonight, okay? Fresh shave in the morning. No, I will shave right before we head out so tomorrow is date night with my husband and I. Now, yes, I could have shaved today, but I want him to fall in love with me all over again. Tomorrow, drop a bomb on that. Okay? Thank you. Yes, the hair is wet, it's promiscuous. When I call my hair promiscuous, it's because it goes all over the place. The curls are just like, if they could vogue, they would be voguing up here. The left and right and curl, they're just like intertwined with each other. Very promiscuous hair. Yes, Miss View, it's day night. Listen, Incredible Hulk has been working so hard. That man has been working so hard, and I've been working too. I've been, managing the household. Miss View, we go on an international trip in just a couple of months, right? And so everything has to be coordinated. Oh, innocent looking in your jammies. Yes, well, this is my my thingamajig, and I'm just sitting here in some designer underwear. Drop a bomb on that. Let's just, Could we talk? It's Friday night. Let's talk. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, my mother, my niece, my sister, Incredible Hulk is in a different room, but my mother, my niece, my sister, they're in a different room. So they are under the same roof, but they know already. They know what I do. They know what happens with this red microphone is on. They're probably watching or listening through the walls. So thank you, Mommy, for always being so supportive, and my Incredible Hulk and my siblings. Thank you so much. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, so much is happening in these streets, right? So much is happening in these streets. Before I get to the meat and potatoes, which is, of course, we all heard Rico's thing. And do I have something to say about it? Well, I would like to be able to give grace about it, because this is that beef sector. And, at some point, Miss View, I think you remember that there were certain lines that we would not cross, when it came down to health reads and to things like that. And we were still, they were still doing the back and forth and the beefing and the reading and dragging and the joking and the, the entertainment and the whole nine. But somewhere along the lines, that was no more. It was it was out of place. It was a mess. It was gone, right? And so it was, and I remember when that wave turned, the certain colonizer that came into the sector and tried to colonize the people. Remember, divide and conquer, Miss Viewers of You? So, when that certain colonizer, Sun Dodger, came into town to divide and conquer, and then some of the folks here started giving it attention, then it all started going to hell. Starlight says, remember when Rico was, oh my God, Starlight, drop a bomb on the whole Starlight. Starlight, I'm trying to develop my production here, Starlight. Yes, I remember all that, and it's part of the monologue. Okay? It's part of the monologue. Trust the process, Starlight. Starlight, trust. Shine bright and trust that I got you. I got you. Yes, I remember the whole thing. But so going back to, before I get to the meat and potatoes, I just want to give a little, a quick touch on my last video, which was about the transpedestrian Nova Hampton, who came out here saying that she had been raped in the bushes by some man she met off Tinder. I just want to, she's still claiming rapation. That's the act of being, And so I just want to play for you. I hope this is the right video. It may not be the right video. Let me see over here. I think I can do it a different way. Let's see here. Okay, here it is. It's file 1753. Let's see if it's the right one. Yep. Okay. So, Novahampton, take it away.
I'm going. So I don't care no more. I don't care no more what it is. I told myself, as a female, I'm going to have to get used to getting raped. It is what it is. Ain't it a shoot? It is what it is. I'm just going to have to get used to getting raped. It is what it is. Shit. The fuck? It is what it is. I had to get used to it. Shoot.
Take it all in, ladies and gentlemen. Take it all in. The bonnet, the shopping cart in the background, the handbag. It's not designer, but it's a handbag. The walrus laying there. It's like a walrus. Beached.
This is where I'm sleeping at tonight. So basically, I'm waiting for them to pick up an Amazon package here. Amazon package here. This where I'm sleeping at tonight. So it's like 95th and
Just laying there like a walrus. This deserves a second look. One more time, ladies and gentlemen. One more time, please.
I'm going. So I don't care no more. I don't care no more what it is. I told myself, as a female, I'm going to have to get used to getting raped. It is what it is. Ain't it a shoot? It is what it is. I'm just going to have to get used to getting raped. It is what it is. Shit. The fuck? It is what it is. I had to get used to it. Shoot.
Take it all in. The shopping cart, the bonnet. She is out on the street, in the grass, laying out like a walrus, like a beached whale, across the street from the Amazon lockers, I guess, because she's waiting for a package.
This is where I'm sleeping at tonight. So basically, I'm waiting for them to pick up an Amazon package here. Amazon package here. This where I'm sleeping at tonight. So it's like 95th and
There you go. Okay, let me get us back to. Okay, drop a bomb on that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. I want to thank Incredible Hulk, my husband, who is here supporting Miss Viewers of You, Love Blake, Starlight, Naris 21, and the helicopters. I know that a lot of people are here for me to wanting to hear what I'm going to say about Rico Deontay Barber, the radioactive can collector. Do I have something to say about him? Yes, I do have something to say about him, but we are going to close out with Novahampton. Miss Love Blake says he homeless. Yes, he is, she is, they are homeless. The trans-pedestrian is homeless. So I just want to say that that, you know, and Ms. View pointed out, is that what he thinks happens, right, to women? And I was looking at her videos and just trying to, assess the situation. And yes, Ms. View, we have to understand what we're dealing with, right? We have a trans pedestrian that, wants to be female so bad, right? They went through the surgery, okay? Wants to be female so bad, but does not carry themselves like a female. You understand what I'm saying? So later on in later videos last week, she was continuing to talk about the alleged rape that happened in the bush. Now, we spoke to the accused, all right? And he was like, no, she went into the bush willingly. He also texted her, which Nova shared the text messages saying that some goofy called him, saying that you raped me and stuff, and it was all consensual. So it was a lot of back and forth going on between them. But the thing, Miss View, that really I was like, oh my God, we have to remember that the video where she says that she was raped in the bushes starts by her saying that he charmed me out of my panties. End of quote. So you already admitting that he charmed you out of your panties. And in a later video, she says, Miss View, that you know, he was so aggressive with her, the way that he was speaking with her, and he didn't even take her out on a date. She was expecting some dinner and like dinner and an activity before that. She was expecting a date. And this is I'm paraphrasing, but this is what she was saying. She said that because she did not get a date, she now considers it date rape. Drop a bomb on that. Okay? She is now calling it a date rape because he did not take her out on a date before he inserted himself in her in the bushes. Okay? Just so you understand what we're dealing with. Okay? This is the type, and then she's still sticking to her point of view that he raped her. This is the type of individual or transpedestrian that is dangerous. Now, some people may say, oh, but this person is clearly, mentally disabled. I want to be very clear. Nova Hampton gets $800 and change from the Social Security Administration once a month. Okay? Nova Hampton does not have a payee. I don't know if people know how this works, right? First of all, for you to get that money takes a whole lot, right? And then in them giving you that money, they have to make sure that you're qualified to manage your money. And if you're not, then they give you what's called a payee. Somebody who you trust, who's of age, and who will handle your monies for you. All right. And so there is an assessment that happens continuously. This is not something that they just, okay, you got it and it's lifetime. No, there's a constant revision and constant checking up. A, they want to make sure that the person is still around. Okay. B, they want to make sure that the person is not being abused in all types of ways, physically, mentally, but the biggest part, financially, that the Social Security money or the money from disability or the money from the state that's going to them is not being squandered by a family member, and that they're still mentally capable of handling their finances. Okay, if Nova Hampton was not capable of handling her finances, trust and believe. I don't care what government you think is, did this or changed rules or whatever. All administrations have always been tight on the way they give out disability and Social Security. There's social workers involved. There's oversight. Okay, does he have a payee? And the answer to that, Miss Love Blake, is no. Drop a bomb on that. No. He does not have a payee, said by him, and by the fact that we've seen him manage his money, go to the bank, the whole thing, gone to follow-up meetings with them. He does not have a payee. So in the eyes of the government, he is mentally capable and has been checked, not just one time and then they walked away 10 years ago. This is something that there's a constant revision, and especially now with everything that's going on with this administration, okay? There's a constant looking over to make sure, at least minimum once a year. I guarantee you it happens more than once a year. Maybe quarterly, maybe twice a year, every 6 months, but it happens. They also want to know if your circumstances have changed, if there's any other services that need to be involved. Are you declining? Have you improved? You understand what I'm saying? Nova Hampton has mastered the art of making herself look like she is less than and she's not capable. I want to be very clear. Nova Hampton has a body dysmorphia, hence she ended up with a sexual reassignment. They consider that body dysmorphia. They say that there's something up here not clicking in the way that when they look in the mirror and they see a big old penis instead of a vagina, this is why they go to the sex reassignment surgery, right? So body dysmorphia, clearly there is a speech impediment there. There's a learning disability perhaps, but we have seen Nova Hampton be able to manage money, count money. She has opened up phone accounts, closed out phone accounts, made purchases, knows how to log onto computer systems, knows how to edit her videos, knows how to be on TikTok, edit dancing videos with words and all that, is smart enough to use a reader for her text messaging, and when she goes live, a reader meaning something that reads the messages out loud, we hear it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's not somebody who's not all up there. You know what I mean? That's not somebody who's not all up there. But she has mastered the art of slow talking, you know. Now, does she stutter like a fucking maniac? Okay? That itch can work. That bitch can work. Yes, yes. Yes, she can. Back in the day when we were trying to support her and help her, we were encouraging her to get jobs and giving her different ideas and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, Amazon, I linked her to it. Amazon has a whole, well, back then when we were talking to her, I don't know what Amazon is doing nowadays, but back then there were actually a people with disabilities program. You know, we've all seen the greeters at Walmart. If they're not senior citizens, or you know that want something to do for a couple of hours, they are special needs folks just greeting at the door or stocking shelves, something that's very mechanical, doesn't require much, but you are earning a decent, honest living, right? So we try to link her up with the Amazon, with the website, with the Amazon, and she straight up said no, she prefers to, in her world, she thought she was gonna get a pussy, and that was gonna automatically make up for everything else that's on the outside. Okay, unkempt, looks like she smells. Every time she speaks, just watch her a few minutes, and the deposits of white saliva on the corners of her mouth, just spitting. Okay, the eye of 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock. Okay, got the Marquise Wiley effect going on. You know, and then I don't know why this bitch believes. I don't know if she thinks that a muumuu makes her a female. Drop a bomb on that. You know? Every time you see her, she's in these old lady dresses. Like, you're not even that she's like wearing shit that my grandmother was wearing in the house when she was cooking dinner and stuff. On the weekends when she, didn't need to go outside or anything. These long ass batas, we call it batas, nightwear and shit. Like that's not ladylike. That's not female. Miss View says he should have gotten laser eye surgery before reassignment surgery. Drop a bomb on that. Don't forget the 5 o'clock shadow and the 5 o'clock shadow. Oh, yes. Oh, Miss Blake, how could we forget? Because the very first time that I had Nova pull up to the channel, and the videos are here on private, but they're here. And I was going to speak with her about her troubles and her issues and just trying to get a little more understanding of her walk of life. She went live with me as she had shaving cream and was shaving in a mirror. And I was like, girl, no, we can talk in a little bit. Call me when you're done. Literally with one of those disposable razors, not even a good type, like just like shaving in front of the mirror. She thought I was gonna conduct a interview with a trans pedestrian who had shaving cream all over her neck and who was shaving her face live on YouTube. No, I'm not doing that. This is not what we're doing here. Now, I could have really been an asshole and really put her up there like that, but that's not what I was doing. So I just wanted to keep people abreast of the situation. Nova has now returned back home, okay? Nova has returned home. The mother took her back in. Yes. And yes, I seen videos where the mother physically assaulted her. Yes, she did. She did assault her. The cops were called, the whole nine. What happened a couple of weeks before the cops were called and before the mother attacked her was that she got a raise. And she will tell you herself, I got a raise from the Social Security Administration. They gave her a check for $4,000 that month. Okay? Now, if she wasn't capable of handling her little 800, do you think they were going to cut a check for $4,000? And so what happened was her ain't good shit piece of mother, okay, and I know she's an old bitch, but an old bitch can get it too. And Lucinda the Bison, which is the sister, took all the money from her. And then she decided to buy a new iPhone and an iWatch. And she brought Lucinda the Bison an iWatch. But after they took all the money, They waited for her to get aggressive. Then they called the cops and kicked her out. That's the number they pulled. The whole family is absolute trash. Down to Jeremy Rodriguez, who's the Lucinda the Bison's boyfriend. So he's tied to the family by, I guess, relationship. He trash too. He absolute trash. Garbage. Okay? So that is the update on Miss Nova Hampton, the trans pedestrian. Now let's get to the real deal. Okay? And I was struggling with this, Miss Viewers of You. I was struggling. Love Blake. I was struggling. Naris 21. And I want you to hear how I was troubleshooting this before I came here before you.
Okay. I'm not doing this.
Why not?
I'm not doing this.
Why not?
We just finished reviewing the evidence.
Yes. But I think
You know me very well, baby. What's gonna happen?
But didn't he wish James Caldwell cancer to come back?
Among other things, yes.
Don't he like it beer can size?
I'm not going live tonight to do this.
So they're digging sticks in him. He's used to that.
I'm not. In the name of James Caldwell, in the name of Miss Viewers of You,
He wanted to bite her.
I'm not. And Tracy, and
You
spit on
have
Tracy
HIV,
and bite me.
syphilis, and
We're not. We're better than
HPV.
this. We are better
Not me.
than this
I go
Incredible Hulk.
listen. We gonna go.
I need you to give me a pep talk and let me know
All right.
that I'm going to be proper and demure.
I think that you should go live.
and just give
you
the
should-
people music and just my week.
No, they
and
told him to get on the table, and the arch is back, and he's used to that.
I'm
All they had to say, they didn't need to say nothing but assume
we are
the
not
position
doing
for us.
this.
Okay? Miss Viewers of You said it best. I don't like to play with health shit. But I do need to process this. And I want to tell everybody, all content creators that are out there, refrain from playing the video. I got a link, Miss View, and I was tagged in it, because Rico went live today during sexual health examination at one of the STD clinics, okay? Went live from there, unbeknownst to the care provider. There were two in the room, right? Which is standard protocol. You don't, especially when you're going to be doing pap smears and anal pap smears and all of that, right? And so he went live unbeknownst to them. They did not know that they were being streamed live on YouTube to hear the conversation. Now, I want to let everybody who was linked to the video, whatever, refrain from playing that video because you know how this rat is. Okay, he's waiting for you guys to stream that video and then knock your channel down, drop a bomb on that. Okay, that's what he's waiting for, and he'll sit on that until the time is right, and that's what he does because he's an evil, sick individual, and sick in all sense of the word. Sick in all sense of the word. I would like to come out here and give grace. Absolutely. I would like to come out here and, be proper. And demure. And Rico has joined. Excellent. Rico has entered the chat. Sit right up in the front because I need you to hear this about your own health status. Okay? So, Miss View, he goes on and shows this, right? Now, I got a link to it, so I processed it. And a couple of things that I would like to highlight for the class, right? And the subject is here, so let's go ahead. I just want to clarify. When you have syphilis, which is an STD, when you have syphilis, right, there's stages to syphilis, which with the worst stage being you get dementia and your organs start shutting down. Before then, there's like rashes and, there's signs, there's symptoms, you fever and, malaise, all of that, right? But when you get to the final stage, it's like kind of like when it's like in your brain, you could like, hallucinate and like see shit, and you could go crazy from it, right? There, depending on what stage you are at, and at that stage you can't really treat it. It's kind of like downhill from there. Depending. Oh, by the way, how does he know so much about this? I was a healthcare provider for the community. Drop a bomb on that. Yeah. Okay, I've said this before. I was on tour with a company. We were doing sexual health performances, followed by anywhere between 1 or 2 days to a whole week of workshops wherever we were on the topics, demonstrations, and the whole nine. So I do have some skill when talking about this. And there's nothing I hate the most than ignorant people. You know, I can understand teenagers, the high schoolers that we were talking to, maybe a college student, freshman year, sophomore year, there's no more excuses at that point. But when you have a 30-something-year-old man, RicoLA, Rico Deontay Barber, who has already walked the life of HIV infestation, okay, and has had syphilis before, ain't no way in hell these healthcare providers did not explain to him step by step what it meant and how to treat it and what that meant moving forward. All the misinformation that has been given out by him to try to masquerade and cover up what the facts are. The facts are, when you get syphilis, yes, you could treat it depending on what stage it is, right? They have 3 stages. It's the treatment, right? The first one, which is like when you first get infected, it's as simple as 1 shot. If you fall into the second stage, you now need 3 shots. 3 shots, I think, like weeks apart from each other. So you're doing this for like a month and a half. And then after that, you have to come back and retest. And then the third, like I told you guys, that's when there's damage to your organs, right? So there's not really much to do back then, right? And between stage 1 to stage 3, it could be a span of 10 years. So very often, if people don't get checked, they used to call this like a dormant disease, just like chlamydia, because it can hide and not have any symptoms. But when somebody gets infected, like 90% of the population is going to get a rash in the palms, or in the bottom of on the sole of the feet, or in the back, a rash, or in the chest, a rash. The rash in the hands will be dark spots, like just a bunch of little like dark spots, right? In the back, it will be like red. Could be red or dark spots, and like you might think it's like a heat rash or something like that if it's the summer, right? Then you go in, you do your treatment, okay? Now, once you have syphilis, right, and they clear it, right, you took your treatment, they'll give you your injections, you took the treatment, you have to come back and retest for it, right? So then once you go and retest, it's not that it goes dormant. It's not that it goes dormant. Okay, you have the antibody will always stay in you. Just like remember when everybody had COVID or whatever, and they were checking to see, and they could see the if you had the antivirus, it's the same thing. It's not that it goes dormant and then it reactivates. No, you have the antivirus, you have the antibodies in it in your body, right? So anytime you go back to get your STD panel, if you ever had syphilis, you will tell them I have syphilis before, and they're checking for what's called the T3 number, and that's 2 numbers with 2 dots in between, 1 to something. That means that there's it's a ratio of this amount antibodies per cell or per like droplet or something, right? So there's that number. They use that as a marker. This is ideally why you will stay with the same healthcare provider, or you will have something that they can reference back, right? And so they monitor that, because every time you take your STD panel, syphilis is always going to come out positive because you have the antibodies in you, right? So what happens is they're going to look at those 2 numbers. If those 2 numbers, right, if they gave you treatment and you were able to get those 2 numbers, and those 2 numbers can go as low as 1 to 2, the ratio, right? 1 to 2, I think even 1 to 1, right? But let's say you're 1 to 2, right? And you've been out there sucking and licking and rapping, you're doing the whole thing, right? And then you go in for your, let's say, a year. You go in a year. And now, of course, you're going to test positive. But now the doctor that you've been working with that has your record knows that you were 1 to 2 a year ago. And now when they run you again, you're positive. You will always come out positive for syphilis because you have the antivirus, the antibodies. The antibodies. They're gonna look at those two numbers. If those two numbers now say 1 to 12, it's not that it woke up. Oh, it woke up. It woke up. The monster woke up and it's running around my spine or my brain or my. No, it's a reinfection. Drop a bomb on that. It's a reinfection. No, it ain't just come out and let me reinfect. No, you sucked the wrong dick and you got syphilis again. This is medical. This is not Juanki making it up. This is how it works. This is the medical shit. That's how your healthcare provider can differentiate between your old syphilis and a new syphilis. So when we all heard in the video, the white woman, because I could tell that was a Becky doing her, and that's a LPN probably. That's not even a full doctor. All right, she's from NYU, just getting her hours in, seeing as many gay men, okay, down at the gay clinic as possible so she could get her hours and write her thesis and get her degree in the summer, right? So that Mount Sinai, the gay, see, this is the fucking thing. You know, when I just told you that I worked in the community and I did that, Mount Sinai was the place I was working for. Drop a bomb on that. I told you, New York City, my stomping ground. New York City, my stomping ground. Okay? Absolutely. My stomping ground. And they not only do they have a gay ward there, they have an AIDS ward there too. Okay? All right? Mount Sinai, AIDS ward. So anyway, going back to it, that's how they can tell that it's a reinfection. So when we heard Becky, doing her residency program, LPN, okay? Letting him know we're seeing the numbers and we're just, that's because, so now what they're going to do is they're going to culture the thing. Syphilis is one of those exams that takes, that one does take 1 to 2 weeks, just like gonorrhea. When you go take your gonorrhea test, and we heard them say your chlamydia gonorrhea is clear. It's clear because there's no indication right there when they just put it under and they looked. But what they're going to do, the confirmation of the gonorrhea is going to be in 1 to 2 weeks. Why? Because they have to grow it in a petri dish. They have to grow it in a petri dish. And it takes about 1 to 2 weeks for that to happen. So when they give you the results, is that the first, because they have clinics in New York City where you could get some results right there. You take your test, you get your results right there, and then you call back a couple of days, and it's like the official ones, right? Like I said, syphilis is one that has to be sent down and it takes a little longer. And gonorrhea, they actually have to try to grow gonorrhea in the dish at the lab. And so that one is one of the ones that takes the longest. So all this thing about, I don't know, I haven't done this, and this is why I'm doing this, and that, it's the denial for me. It's the denial for me that you are mid-30s already, and you're still denying and saying that it was a fight that caused the HIV. Let's just, 35 years old, 36, whatever the case may be, and they still going around, as ridiculous as that sounds, trying to go back to the telephone and the breaking of the skin. Okay? It just, again, like you have to be the most unlucky human in the planet. Mind you, you have this pedigree of prostitution. You have this pedigree of sex, high sex in substances, of Craigslist, right? And by the way, because we're going to continue we still got to process the whole anal probing and the whole possibility of anal cancer and the whole nine. And what I've been saying for how long now? HPV. Because I'm pretty certain that they're going to come back and say, not cancerous, HPV. And they're going to give him a number. Because there's a whole bunch of different numbers. But in the gay world, there's 3 that are very prevalent. There are 3 that are very prevalent. And in the HIV world, HPV and HIV go hand in hand for whatever reason. Okay? But let's go back to the prostitution. Let's go back to, I want to know, Miss Viewer to View, since when just like, since when is saying that you took advantage of white man, whatever racial class, since when does that become a fucking a trophy? Since that a shine, when does that become like a medal that you prostituted and you got money from white people and you drove their cars? You know, financially abused them. When does that become a thing? Like, because it's like, okay, you did all that, and you ended up with AIDS. You Miss View says HPV shows up as warts. Exactly, Miss View, and the warts could be cancerous or non-cancerous, and in female bodies, you know, that cervical cancer comes from HPV. When women go and get their pap smears and they're taking the skins and all that, they're trying to see if there's some HPV or some irregular. HPV is irregularities in the cells. It's a virus that causes irregularities in those cells, and they can mutate into cancer. And we're gonna get to the whole cancer discussion and my feelings on the whole thing. But let me dial back, because I want to take it in stages. Okay, I want to take it because I don't want people to think that I'm coming out here making fun of people on the whole nine. I don't think it's something to make fun of. Okay, I don't. I do believe that you reap what you sow, right? And I do believe that when you thought it was a flex to financially use and abuse men, and there's this thing about it being white men and the whole nine, I would go out to say it wasn't a flex. It was you creating your karma. It was you creating your karma. That's catching up. Ms. View says this is very informative for anyone. It's creating the karma. Raymond Davis across from the Citibank building. That financial arrangement, that using situation, that's creating the karma that you're faced with right now. Okay? Let's get deeper. Let's continue to get deeper. We heard the provider say that they're going to scrape some, so that means, Ms. View, when they were actually, and I don't know if you've seen the video, Ms. View, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the link for the video. I'm going to drop the link for the video. I'm not going to play the video here because I know how this piece of trash runs his games. Okay, I know what he wants. He wants people to play the video, and then he's going to try to flag the video. But it's out there. He thought he hid it behind the wall or whatever. It's out there. Somebody opened up a channel with it and linked me and a whole bunch of people. And I was like, I can't believe that we're listening to this shit, because it's not even coming from an informational point, because then they got on a live shortly after that to start spreading a whole bunch of misinformation and a whole bunch of lies. Like, I got it from the telephone. You understand what I'm saying? Enrico, you could have your fingers fall off, because I'm so connected to the message and what I'm saying that I hear the 333, but I'm not even looking at you. But I'm glad that you stayed here and you sat in the front so I can tell you about your health. I've been trying to tell you about your health. But y'all thought I was reading. Y'all thought I've been said it. Constellation says, don't drop the link. He will flag me. That's my other. Oh, perfect. Okay, Constellation. I'll leave it alone. It's out there. People seen it, and it's out there. It's out there, and it will continue to play. I see this as a whole bunch of different ways. I think this is a sympathy. I've never met any gay man, young gay man, and I'm using the word young relatively, because Rico Deante Barber, the radioactive can collector, who has HPV, who is now waiting to hear if it's cancerous or non-cancerous, is way younger than Timothy Blaine. So that's what I'm saying, a young man. But that's a grown-ass man. Okay, that's a grown-ass man. Okay? So I've never in my entire life met anybody in these New York City streets who willingly and so openly was willing to share such embarrassing information. It's the attention seeking for me. Now, is it attention seeking or is it setting the stage for the begging? Okay? I'm a little delayed on my sounds because I had a full day with my family. Let me just say, I love my family. I absolutely love my family. I love the fact that my husband, the Incredible Hulk, can spend time with my mama. I don't have to rearrange it, facilitate. They love each other. I love my family. Thank you for being here. Love you guys. So I'm a little drained, but I said, let me go out and give this message. Is he setting the stage for the begging? Is he setting the stage for the sympathy card? You get no motherfucking sympathy. Now we're going to go to cancer. I don't play with cancer. I've had loved ones pass from cancer. It's not a joking matter. That's one of my lines when it comes down to cancer. I've had loved ones, pass from it. I've had loved ones deal with it and come through at the other end. Cancer is a fucking piece of shit. It's not something I would wish on anybody in any angle or any approach. And I wouldn't wish it on anybody. And I've never made fun of it. I would never do anything like that because I've seen how it has affected my family. I've seen how it's affected other people's family. And it's not something that you can help. You sucked the wrong dick. You wanted a beer can size. You wanted to, let white men run up on you because you was getting money and driving their cars. Then you got HIV. That was your doing. It wasn't no fight in no hotel. It was the fucking and the coming in rectums. Because even oral sex has such a low percentage of transmission. You literally have to be gushing blood from sores in your mouth and taking cum right in your mouth and letting it sit there, marinate there. And then your viral load has to be high enough to transmit. And then your body has to be in the mouth ready to take it. You understand what I'm saying? So there's a whole bunch of things to the point where when you go do healthcare providers and stuff like that at the STD clinics, the gay STD clinics, they're not worried about oral sex. They're not when it comes down to HIV transmission. They're not. They're more concerned about you getting herpes, gonorrhea, or chlamydia in the back of your throat. That like that. That transmits like that. Put that penis back up there and touch back there, and you could get you right away. That's why when you go, they swab your mouth with a cotton, your tonsils, to see if you have gonorrhea, syphilis, or herpes back there. Okay? Or herpes back there. Now, so again, I wouldn't wish cancer on anybody. It's just not the thing. But let's not forget, Rico Deontay Barber, the barber, wished in front of all of us that Treasure Lane, which I love very dearly, would have his cancer come back. He said that. We were all here, shocked because of the level of depravity and how low, past hell, can somebody go, right? That you're not quick enough, smart enough, or have the wits on you to do a reading that's not that. Wishing that. And now look. For the next couple of weeks, still do. Look at that. Still do. I want to make sure that we all see that. Still do. Okay? Still do. For anybody that feels any level of sympathy, or when the bagation starts, because I've already seen the movie played out. For all we know, he wants it to be cancer. Why? Because now it's not just one reason, it's two reasons now to be able to stay in social services and be able to still have a SRO, okay, as a home and a case manager and not have to work. Oh, we know he's not going to work. We really know he's not going to work now. We know that. We know that. Okay? Here we go. Fuck him and you. See? Fuck him and you. Drop a bomb on that. This is the precancerous person who's awaiting his results, scared that he might need to be hooked up to a colonoscopy bag. That's the bag where they defecate on. That's the bag where they defecate on. Because you want to know what they do? They remove part of the colon or the intestines or the rectum, and they have to sew it up. They sew the rectum. They close the hole. They close the hole and redirect it to a bag that will be on the side. And there's no pouring the bag out. You take the bag, you sip it up, and you dispose of it in the garbage can. Okay? That's this is the person who's cared about that. Still wishing situations, I don't even want to repeat it, situations on Treasure Lane. That right there, ladies and gentlemen. That right there. Okay? It's all a show. Oh, I'm so scared. They're not scared. Okay? They're not scared. They've woken up every day since the infection, since the transmission, lying to themselves, saying it happened from a fight and blood contact. That's not how it happened. You were a prostitute. You were a prostitute getting high on E-pills and on weed, right? With a white man, because it's a flex, because you got money. Yeah, you got money and a whole bunch of STDs. You got money and a whole bunch of STDs. And what you got back there is HPV, that, like I've been saying, and everybody thought I was reading, and I kept saying the gray matter on the outside, the gray matter, HPV in gay men, when it's in the rectum, looks like gray matter. And when they take vinegar solution, okay, they take a vinegar solution on a Q-tip, on a huge Q-tip, and they run it. That's how they know, because it'll turn gray, even more gray. That's how they know that's HPV. HPV doesn't necessarily have to be just the wart. Comes out and the wart is staring. No, it could be in a whole section. And where do gay men usually get this? In their rectum. Why? Because the other gay man will have HPV in their penis, in the head or whatever. He may not have no warts. He may not have no symptoms, but he has HPV. And now he's fucking you raw. Oh, I hope my mom did not hear that. Now he's penetrating you raw, right? And I forgot mama was here. And so now he's penetrating you raw. And so contact, it's the contact. It's the contact, it's the rubbing outside the thing and the eject. That's when the lady, so in the video we hear the lady, telling him, okay, pretty much we didn't like what we saw. And so we need to take a piece of it and send it out to the lab. That right there says to me it was warts. And how interesting that the HIV, the whole discovery of Rico having HIV started with what? A boil. Where? In his ass. Drop a bomb on that. Lived by the ass, dying by the ass. You understand what I'm saying? Lived by the ass, dying by the ass. Maybe I can hear you out here. This is serious. We are better than this, honey. You understand what I'm saying? This is not a unique story. Rico, let me let you know, you're not unique. Okay, so a whole bunch of homosexuals like you running around New York City. Find them and find your tribe and make a community. Okay? They already have the community. Just find it and see if they'll let you in, because you're so toxic. You're so nasty. You're so untouchable that I don't know that those men who are educated and dealing with these type of issues and have a different outlook and walk in life, I don't think that they will want you to come along. They don't want to make you their special project. Okay, they don't want to deal with that. You're old enough. It's not like they're going to be saving you from nothing. By the way, any gay man that's out there, especially younger gay men, I want you to know that there is a HPV vaccine. I took it way back when I was in college. Ideally, they say that for females, they want to give them to females by the time they turn 16. They say that because, statistically by 16, boys and girls are like at least rubbing on each other without. They may not be doing full penetration, but and remember what I said, that if it's in the head of the penis or even in the vagina, and then you're just like rubbing. Oh, let's just rub. That contact can get you HPV. So they were saying girls 16. As a matter of fact, let me tell you, Miss View, when that vaccine first came out, and I'm dating myself a little bit here. I was in college. I was in college, right? And the clinic that I used to go to was doing a test run because they were just starting to get guys to take it. They had already done the girls. It's been proven tested. It's like 3 shots. And so they asked me if I wanted. And then back then I used to like sign up for like, oh yeah, let me see, participate. So I went, and they, it was 3 different stages. You take a shot a month apart 3 times, and then you're covered. You're covered from that HPV. You're covered from that HPV. Miss View says, right, it can be spread just by contact. Yes, it can be spread if it's shedding, and you don't know when it's shedding. That's the thing, that you don't know when it's shedding, just like herpes. You may be shedding herpes and not know that because you don't have a bump, it doesn't hurt or whatever, and transmit it that way, and transmit herpes that way. So, there is a vaccine out there. If people have kids or whatever, really consider. And it's a safe vaccine by now. When I took it, we didn't know what was going to happen, right? But I was like, sure. So yeah, I was all about advancing science and all of that. So I was given that back in college, and and it's supposed to like not help you not catch the HPV, especially the ones that can turn into cancer. Now, going back to the HPV, let me just see. Right, chemistry. Okay. Now let me go back to the HPV. Remember, I've been saying for a long periodical of time that he had HPV. That's what I saw in the pictures. That's what, and everybody thought I was joking and reading and gagging and the whole nine. That matter that they saw in there, that that there's cutting, that if they're cutting a piece, that means that there's a wart that popped up. Because if not, if it had to be more invasive, Miss View, where they needed to give out local anesthesia and then come in and clear the colon and the whole nine, but the fact that they went in, swapped, and maybe just took a piece of it, that right there says to me it was a wart. It was a genital wart by HPV. And so my guess is, this is my guess based on what I've seen and people that I know in the past growing up has had issues, right? It's going to come back non-cancerous, right? They're going to tell him this is HPV and this is the number or the numbers 6, 9, 12. I think those are the big ones that can turn, the most common one in gay men and the ones that can turn into, that does not turn into cancer. 6, it's like 6, 9, and 12, I believe, right? They have a whole range of them. I think it goes to like the hundreds of all different types of HPV. And that's what they're going to tell him. They're going to monitor. If there's more, Miss View, what they're going to do is they're going to freeze them with nitrogen. They're spraying him with nitrogen and they just fall off. He's still contagious. He will be contagious. I have heard that if you live a healthy life, and we heard the nurse practitioner ask him if he smoked, and he said that he smokes weed. The smoking does not help with HPV and genital warts. It does not. It does not help. It's one of the risk factors. I don't know why, but it's one of the risk factors, right? But I have heard that if you live a very healthy lifestyle and you supplement with like natural herbs and things like that, eventually your body could clear HPV. Drop a bomb on that. Absolutely. Yep. Not like syphilis. You cannot clear syphilis. You will always test positive for syphilis. But HPV, 2 to 3 years, if you got rid of everything, froze them, or put acid or whatever it is that they give you. They could give you ointment, acid, cut them off, all of that. If you stayed on top of that, and there was no more spreading, then your body can eventually clear it. Miss View says, freeze them because they are warts and they fall off. Miss View says, I have been celibate for years for that very reason at Hulk. So, excuse me. So listen, I don't have to come out here and foam off the mouth to do the readings. The whole life is a read. You understand? The whole life, it's what you reap what you sow. And in the last video, he said it. He said, "These are my actions from my my results from my actions when I was younger." Yeah, it's not just younger. We're not. I want to be clear. We're not being fooled by I'm not having sex and no. We're not being fooled by any of that. It's your biggest flex. Your ability, Miss View, it's a flex to be able to say that you will sleep with anything and everything, any nationality, any race, anything. It could be a fat old white man, as long as the $25 are left on the counter or put under the mattress, they can ejaculate in him. That's supposed to be a flex. That's supposed to be a flex. Okay? All right, so you drove white men's cars. You got a couple of bucks. You ain't got the money now. Miss View, it's the truth. You ain't got the money now. You did all this work. And you got nothing to show. You got dirty feet. You are laying on your back, chicken wing style, dirty feet. Your anus is leaking. And that's supposed to be a flex? Girl, if you don't get the fuck out of my face, that's supposed to be a flex. Understand, New York City, you make of it what you will. You could run in some powerful circles. You could get your come up. Have we seen that bitch get a come up? No, absolutely not. Have we seen that bitch in a penthouse at an event? Have we seen that bitch clean? Have we seen that bitch look like it smells good? Dressed up? Have we seen that bitch come on here all giddy and oh my God, somebody approached me in the street and he's an executive. Have we seen that bitch do any of that? Or get any of that? Where's the fucking flex? What is the flex? I don't get it. I don't understand the flex. I don't understand the flex. You did all of this back then. You did all of that back then. Where's the car now, bitch? Where's the money now? Right? Because you out here begging for scraps, running, checking the calendar. How many more days until the little paycheck comes in? Never travel nowhere of importance. Certainly nowhere outside of the country. Miss View, I was telling you, I was so I was saying that Incredible Hulk and I have an international trip coming up. And no, this is not the Caribbean. It's not Dominican Republic. I am going and I'm concerned because we're going to be flying over the ocean for 8 hours. And I was like, okay, yeah, Miss View, you know me. I'm like, what happens if we have an emergency? I don't want to freak out. Knowing I'm in this can for almost 9 hours flying across the ocean. What happened? It turns out, and Hulk, I didn't tell you this, it turns out that there is 5 different airports or landing strips across the Atlantic, Miss View, where planes can land if there's an emergency. And also, they don't just fly right through the middle of the ocean. They fly close to the coast of all these countries. In case there's an emergency, they could just boom. So you're never too far away from being able to emergency land if you need to. So I've been curating the experience, and we'll do some videos and stuff like that because and you know me, I want everything to be just perfect for my Incredible Hulk. He works very hard and he supports me and puts a lot up for me and does a lot for me. And so Ms. Yu says, yep, in case of an emergency. Yeah, but I was like, I've never really gone, we're going to the other side of the world. So I didn't really, really didn't know that, but I'm glad that I researched that. But I've been curating the experience and all that, and I have to program it day by day because we're gonna have to go to the bank and I have to order their currency and all of that. So slowly, and it hit me when I applied for the visas because we need visas to get in. So I applied for the visas, and then once they approved the visas, I was like, oh my God, the trip is really happening. Never mind that I already have the tickets, the hotel, the experiences that we're doing, some of them, not all of them. But once I got that visa back, Miss View, I had to go on their app and apply, and then they responded, and I had to take the picture of the passport, take a picture of me, scan my passport. I didn't even know the passport has like a chip, Miss View, and you take your phone and you find the chip, and all the information just gets translated to the thing. So when I got the response back, Miss View, it was like, oh my God, we're really going. Like I now feel like I'm really going. Like I really feel like I'm going now. Never mind that. The American Express has been charged galore. Never mind all of that. But the fact that I got the visa now, okay, boom, stamp, you can come. I'm like, oh my God, we're really going. So, that and that's my flex. That's my flex. I wasn't prostituting back then, Miss View. I wasn't, and that's another thing. Remember when Rico told everybody on live that he liked them beer cans, and he put a beer can and showed us. See, this is what happens. And I would say you're losing elasticity. You lose elasticity. Now you have so much penis running up on you and in you that now you have HPV. And the HPVs now, they're worrying about whether or not it's cancerous. Now, if this thing turns out to be cancerous, Miss View, they have to take it out. They have to cut it out. It depends on the degree. It's in a very in the rectum. Like, just think of the whole thing. It's the rectum. It's the anus. And I've known people, not many, but I've known people that have had issues back there, gay men, and they're, like I said, they'll cut it out. They've had to take chemo. They've had to take not radiation, but like pills, and the whole nine. Had to take off work, do the whole thing. They remove it and still have to give them the pills, the chemo, pill wise, and they have to recover. And then they saw their anus. They literally saw the hole, Miss View. I'm not even funny. I'm not even trying to be funny. They saw it. And so you never are going to either use that sexually or defecate. That means go to the bathroom, Rico. That means sit on the toilet and have a bowel movement. It will be rerouted to a colonoscopy bag, which is on the side. And let me tell you, Ms. View, I supervised a man. He was gay. This is how I also know a lot about it, because I supervised a man in one of my former jobs that it's interesting because when I came in for the interview and I met the team that I was going to be supervising, they did the whole March of the Penguin through the office. Oh, this is so-and-so, and we're considering him, and this is, and we're marching, doing the March of the Penguins, right? The whole strong Miss View. I'm a Miss View. Miss View, that's like a tongue twister. I'm Latino. Say that 3 times. Whole sewn clothes. Miss View. This is supposed to be a serious topic. But Miss View said we was going to get bit and spat on, and I was going to get bit and given HIV. So, drop a bomb on that. Out of order. Oh my God, Miss View. Miss View. Whew. I know Trish Shirley, Motha. I know she's not gonna get out here. At least she wasn't until he reiterated and said that he wished he got it again. Like, it's fucking crazy to me. In the moment of it, let me tell you something. He could be at death's door and he will still not change. And we're supposed to take the higher moral ground, right? And I think I've taken the higher. I've just been given facts. Now, they may not be very good looking for him, but it's just the facts. So I supervised a man, Miss View. He was a gay man. And it was not just, when I went to the interview and I met March of the Penguin around the office, meeting everybody, they told me that he was, dealing with cancer and stuff like that, right? Okay. Then I got hired and I came in and they told me he's going to be off for like 4 months while he recuperates. He just had the surgery and the whole nine. And then when he was getting ready to come back, Miss View, they let me know that he is now going to be wearing a colonoscopy bag. And so, Miss View, you know what I did? I told HR, I said, okay, I know what it is, but y'all need to provide me with some type of training, not because I'm going to be changing or whatever, but this is somebody that's going to be in my team. I'm going to be supervising them, and I need to understand, aside from the physiological thing, what are some of the psychological things and how to approach it on the whole nine. And I'm not trying to even be funny, Miss View, but there were some difficult moments. There were some difficult moments because, I don't know what it is. I'm able to connect with people, and so he was really connecting with me, and this is when he shared with me that yes, they sewn the anus, they sew it up, and she showed me the bag. He felt comfortable enough to show me the bag, and but there were moments that were a little bit uncomfortable, i.e. I will be doing a supervision meeting, which is like when you sit with your person and you go down the task or whatever, and the thing will make noises. Like, do you know how your stomach makes noises? But it's amplified. It was like you hear like, and sometimes you will hear the dropping of it into the bag and stuff like that. And I'm not going to lie. Sometimes it had a smell. Drop a bomb on that. I'm being 100% honest with you guys. And me, as a professional, had to be professional. But it was some moments that were difficult. It was some difficult moments. Absolutely. Difficult moments. And then you get somebody like, if you have to change your colonoscopy bag, you bring the things that you need. Bring like a I know women bathrooms, right? They'll have like a little bag where you could put your feminine products in there, and it has like a little label or whatever, and then you put it in a different trash can. No, he would throw it in the regular garbage can. So you're in the bathroom, you dry your hands, and you're gonna go throw the thing, and you see the colonoscopy thing right there, the bag right there, the bag right there. Now we're talking about Rico Deontay Barrow, the radioactive can collector, who's still here, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so entertaining, and he's so eating it all up. Starlight says, Juanki Pro, you got me screaming over here. No, no, and I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to approach this as a professional. Okay? As a professional, I remember calling Hulk and saying to Hulk, I'm having a supervision meeting with him, and he's straight up taking a shit in front of me. That's what it felt like. That's what it felt like. You understand, baby? I can hear you. That's what it felt like. Like it's digesting, it's processing, and then it ain't no more of first of all, ain't no more fucking because the hole is closed. The hole is closed. Starlight says, I would love to be a fly on the wall watching Juanki Pro facial reactions and body shifting movements when he heard a colonoscopy bag noises. And it was difficult. It was difficult. It was difficult because I remember being on my desk, like typing like this, and he came in, and I'm in a chair, so he's standing up, so his body was right here. And so I'm looking at him, talking to him, and that thing like that. I was like, and what I would do is I would just focus on the eyes. I would just continue to like, okay, yeah, okay, so all right, and then try to hurry it all up. But sometimes it's melt. And what happens is it's supposed to be sealed, and but if you don't seal it properly, and you're supposed to be cleaning around, and sometimes they get rashes from the tape, because it's like it's like they take the asshole and it's like a prolapse, the little thing, and they pop it out of the side of your stomach, and then they connect that. They put a little round plastic thing around that, and that little bulb that comes out, they connect that to the tube into the bag. That's how it is. It's true. And then they can't eat. And then he had to be rushed to the hospital several times because if he ate after that, everything that they eat has to be like liquid. Like soups and things like that. No meats. You're not gonna see Rico eating lobster. Lobster. Miss View, it wasn't lobster. It was a jumbo shrimp. Drop a bomb on that. It was a jumbo shrimp, Miss View, that he thought it was lobster. Yeah, I remember he went to the bodega and got a $20 seafood boil bag. I don't know what boil bag is $20 at the bodega, but he got it with the EBT, Miss View, and then he opened it up in front of us, talk about, yeah, lobster. It's lobster. It was no damn lobster, Miss View. It was a jumbo shrimp. Let's see. Miss View says something here. Let's see. Miss View says, I had to really deal with that. We had to make spaces for women to express the milk for the babies at work. We had to order separate fridges for that. Oh, I have a story about that, Miss View. But I have had an employee with a bag that I know. I had to make the workplace safe for everyone and also comply with guidelines. Red Lobster just announced a boil bag for $50. Yes, I heard that, Miss View, and I'm going to go check it out. I am going to. I love me a nasty piece of seafood boil, but from a reputable place. The bodegas, they're not the ones giving. No, that's not a seafood boil bag. That's not. But so Rico won't be able to eat solid foods like that. It will have to be like baby foods. Like Gerber is gonna be his friend. And Shores are going to work double unless it's lactose intolerant. If he's lactose intolerant, then I think it's gonna be a problem. His view, but Gerber, you know the little Gerber purees were good, but he got rushed a couple for obstruction because it's not working the way that it's supposed to. It's not working the way that it's supposed to. I am too. I love the bread at Red Lobster. Oh yes, that what is it? That cheesy bread thing that they do. So yeah. So you know, it's gonna be, if it turns out that it's cancerous and they have to cut it out and then they have to give him a colonoscopy bag, then that will be hard. Yeah, I am lactose intolerant. That will be hard. Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, don't take any Ensure, but yeah, I that would be, you know. And I'm not coming out here to make fun of Rico. Rico is getting his karma. It's enough. And as you can see, he hasn't learned anything. Instead of coming out and apologizing, okay, throwing his fate at the mercy of the powers that be, you know. I know I created this karma for me, but I'm ready to turn the page. I'm ready to educate. On the contrary, he comes out here and says a whole bunch of shit that's not true. It's not true. It doesn't make sense. It's not the science, you know, and doubles down. And is nasty about it. Doubles down and is nasty about it. So, you know, because this is gonna be a journey. This is going to be content for the next, definitely through the holidays, okay? Definitely through the holidays. This is going to be the content. I want you to understand. Okay? From all sides, everywhere. Okay? Y'all know Dr. Will Cock. He will cock. Oh, he will cock. He cocks well. Don't forget the lube. Okay? You know he getting ready to do 25 videos. Okay? You know Timothy Blaine is about to offer his support. Timothy Blaine is going to tell him to really make his disease, make your bag work for you. Drop a bomb on that. Make the bag pay you. You understand what I'm saying? Is it a scary situation? It absolutely is. I knock on wood. It's crazy. Absolutely. You know? But instead of being humble about it, instead of learning a lesson, you know, when you are mean to folks, it is hard to have sympathy for them. Yeah, it is. That's why and I wasn't gonna come. You will never catch me doing the whole thing and the whole, because I already know if that turns out to be what that is, it's gonna be a journey. If that turns out, he's not gonna be the same when he comes out at the other end. If he comes out at the other end, because let's not forget that he also has the monster. It's a lot of things going here. The monster. Okay, that already renders him weak. You might be undetectable now, but now when you start doing chemo, when you start doing the medications that they may need, because understand that chemo, it's going to kill those cells, but it's also going to kill the few good cells that you have. So I don't even know, Miss View. I don't even know how do they do chemo with somebody that might have HIV, like that is autoimmune compromised. And I'm going to research that. I'm going to research that and see what the tea is, because it's a lot. It's a lot. I wanna leave you guys with the following. So I got priority alert sending me text messages. I got tagged in the video and the whole nine. Let me see if I covered everything on the video. So and the healthcare provider was very professional. There was a moment we can hear Rico Deante Barber, the radioactive can collector, who is now awaiting results from his anal pap smear. And some people, I think, Miss you put in the chat earlier about anal pap. They do those for gay men. They've been doing those for gay men since it's the same concept, right? Because a woman, she has her vagina. If she's sexually active, then she should be getting paps, right? That's when they put the Q-tips in there, right? Open and Q-tips. Same concept for the guys. Same concept for the guys. Let's just see here. Miss View says, the folks that I dealt with that had cancer did not have the package. Exactly. So I can't say. It's more challenging to fight it. It definitely is more challenging to fight it, because the medicines that cancer, they kill all cells, period. It's like a bazooka going off at the place. It does everything. Miss View. So yes, gay men can get a pap smear, and they have the same big old cottons and the whole nine. But there's an evaluation that happens. It's not offered on a regular, right? Your healthcare provider sits with you. Ideally, you go into a gay clinic, right? Because they see this all day, every day. That's why they were able to just look at it and be like, yeah, that looks like X, Y, and Z. We need to send it in. That's what, because this is what they look at every day, all day, every day. That's what they look like, right? So, gay men who are predominantly bottoms, right? If you are a sex worker, if you any situation where you're having a lot of different partners, if you admit all of that to the healthcare provider, they do an assessment and they'll say, okay, you should get a pap smear, and they'll usually will tell you, we're not doing that right now, right? Because there's a level of preparation. They don't want you to sit out there uncleaned and stuff like that. They want to tell you, on this day, you're going to have this examination. Come prepared. Meaning, take a shower, clean yourself up, because you're about to open up the book wider than you could possibly, and they'll have tools and everything to open you up and go in and grab what they need to grab and put it in the little test tubes and send it out to the thing, or open you up, see that, and spray liquid nitrogen to make it freeze, or take acid and dab you with an acid in there, okay? And then I can imagine it's very painful when you're passing stools. That means when you're taking when you go into the restroom for number 2, Rico Deante Barber. I know your vocabulary is not very good looking. It bleeds, it ruptures, this is the results of lichen beer can sizes, and this is the results of being a prostitute with the flex that I take white people's money and drive their cars. You took their money, you drove their cars. This is how you pay. Drop a bomb on that. It's a payment. It was a layaway. Now they're ready to take your payment. They're ready to give you the merchandise. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it is what it is. It is what it is. In the old days before the colonizer came here and turned the world upside down in this sector, we wouldn't dare to talk about these things like that. It wouldn't be a discussion. It will be a lot of prayer. It'll be, good wishes and so. But you've been trashed. Now I'm talking to you. A layaway. Yes, payment plan. No, the 401k. This is now the withdrawals are taking place now. Back in the day, we would have all been a united front. But no, you've done a lot of damage and hurt a lot of people and wished a lot of evil on a lot of good people. Good people, because most people have tried to be good to him. And he turns around and can't keep a friend, can't keep an alliance, can't keep a network. And wishes all this evilness. I mean, all straight up told. He wanted to bite me to give me AIDS. Drop a bomb on that. Who says that? Who says that? Who wishes that? You've been suffering with this for how long now? You've been miserable. You've had people that you really liked, guys that you thought that if it wasn't for that, but you knew you had no chance. Because you knew the minute that you told them there's something I need to tell you, the guy was going to fucking run out. Or physically fight you for how dare you try to give me that shit. So there were people that were already off. There were already people off your list because you knew that you couldn't even step up. You couldn't even step up. Even if you wanted to be the bitch in the relationship. Because you like to sit in the beer cans. So you're being the bitch in the relationship. You knew that they weren't going to see you because of your pedigree. And you want to go out there and give that to me? You want to go out there and beat up Miss Viewers of You? You want to go out there and do the same for Treasure Lane? And spit on Tree Dog and shit? And we're supposed to feel sympathy now. Right? The story's supposed to be like, oh no, and now get ready for the thing. And I'm gonna leave you with this. I already told you. This is the plot line for the next, several months. It's gonna be the begging. Oh, Miss View, it's gonna be, I had treatment today. I'm really hungry. Can you send me something? I'm weak from the treatment. I can't sit down. I can't sleep. I'm tired. I need a break. Send me this. Then they're going to sit with the social worker. It's not just the AIDS, but now I got, cancer now. They took it, but I'm in remission. The whole nine. Can I stay here longer? Can I get some more money about this? But at the same view, the weed is going to continue to happen. The malt liquor is still going to be drank. And once the anal gets sewn out of service, then he's just going to use the mouth. Drop a bomb on that. The pleasure hole has now shifted. No longer now it's beer can sizes down the throat. Beer can sizes down the throat. Now, let me tell you this. You can also get HPV in your mouth and HPV in the back of your throat. Yes, you can. And you can also get throat cancer. Throat cancer is not just from smoking cigarettes. Throat cancer can also come from HPV in the back of your throat. You don't believe me? Use your Google and figure it out. With that said, I want to thank everybody that came through. Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't come out here to malign his character, to defecate on the Rico Deante barbers. Oh, barbers! They're fecal matter from beginning to end. Okay? Nobody has to defecate on that. They're fecal matter from the beginning. Okay? Miss View says, I will refrain from my snack for tonight. Okay. Thank you for being Miss View. Thank you for being here, Miss View. Everybody that's there, Love Blake came through. Naris 21, who probably is going to catch me on the replay. My Incredible Hulk, The Helicopters, great show with health information. Well, yes, Miss View, I did not. And, I want to be very clear. I'm not shying away from talking about the subject. I can, like I just demonstrated tonight, I can talk about the subject in an informational matter with very a matter of fact. And thank you, Ms. Love Blake, and just the facts of his life. The facts of his life. And clearing out the misconceptions and the lies. The lies that, I guess, help him sleep at night. At some point, he's going to have to face the truth and understand that he caught HIV not because he was fighting and got hit with a phone. He caught HIV because he was a prostitute, the flex, that was taking white people's money, getting high on ecstasy pills, and driving their cars. That was the flex. That's the result. Okay? He got HPV, whether it's cancerous or not, whether it's treatment or not, from the amounts of beer can-sized penises without a barrier, a glove, a condom in between that he sat on. Consequences. This is all the consequences. These are all his actions. All right. But the begging is going to start. Oh my God, they're so mean to me. It's going to be up and down. The manic depressing shit is going to kick in. The bipolar shit, the alcoholism, the, hanging from doors and the whole nine. It's going to be a fucking shit show. And we're going to be here to report on it. Yes, we are. Absolutely. I want to thank you for coming through, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see if I get my little outro music. Do we have an outro music? I don't have an outro music, but I'm going to just say this in terms of, did I give enough today? Was this enough? Do I need to stop? I don't know if I need to stop. In the words of a tree dog.
Because I stop when I say I'm going to fucking stop, bitch.
Okay. That's it. That's it, Rico.
Because I stop when I say I'm going to fucking stop, bitch.
And this is not even, the curtain hasn't even gone up. This is going to be the content until I decide is no longer the content. You know what I'm saying? So thank you, Priority Alert. Thank you. I think it was Cosmic something. Everybody who sent me the information. Everybody that sent me thank you. We will be reporting. We will be unmasking the lies. And I will be rectifying and clarifying the bullshit. Because the last thing I want is for especially gay men to go be watching this shit with wrong information. Yeah, no. Don't have raw sex and don't be a prostitute. With that said, have a good night. I will see you guys later on. I'm getting ready to go to sleep. All right? Peace.